Hello, and welcome back to a brand new, exciting episode of Video Ditch. And to the discerning viewer, you might say, hey, isn't there a co-host missing? But ignore that for now, because we're joined by someone even better than Jake right now.
I know,
He's a developer. He's the real meat and potatoes of this show.
Mirrored Soul himself, baby.
Oh yeah, Mr. Mirrored Soul himself. Nick, give him the intro treatment.
This guy, how should I put this? If you like Shin Megami Tensei, if you like role-playing games, if you play Pokemon and you feel, well, has this always been a game for little babies? Have I always been wasting every second of my time piddling around with this handheld device? You would be correct in thinking that, but you also would not be incorrect in thinking that there should be something greater, something for a more discerning eye. And our guest here, MAMMOTHPLANT, developer of Mirrored Soul, is creating exactly what you would be looking for: a real monster hunting, taming, slaying, talking game in the vein of Pokemon and Shin Megami Tensei that I personally have played and really enjoyed. And I think that all of you out there listening should give a shot yourselves and see for yourselves, what you've been missing, limiting yourself to just getting the same rehash garbage every 4 or 5 years because they added a feature that makes them really big or something.
There you go. Yes, Noah, thank you for coming on.
Anytime. Pleasure to be here.
It's
Wonderful.
a pleasure to have you. Yeah, today we'll just give him the old video ditch treatment, talking his history, his current project, Mirrored Soul, and perhaps looking towards the horizon, seeing what's beyond that. And also Gamescom is happening right now. So if either of
I
you
didn't
have,
even know that.
if either of you have been keeping up or
I'm
seen
being
any
honest,
cool
neither did I.
announcements. Okay, perfect.
That's
That's
in Europe,
perfectly
right?
fine.
We got one guy in this call who's watching Gamescom, I guess.
I mean,
Cologne, Germany, setting the scene. Yeah, Gamescom.
Witcher remake.
G3. I feel like the only thing I saw that caught my eye was, what is it called? It's a pixel art cinematic platformer
Pixel.
akin to Another World, one of my favorite games.
yeah.
Replaced
Okay.
is what it's called.
Well, that might be worth playing.
They had a 13-minute gameplay overview that was actually quite illuminating. But that's really the only thing.
That is
But
shocking when they actually show the gameplay.
Especially because, not to go on too much of a tangent, but that game has been so off the grid since its first initial sort of reveals. So it's nice, yeah, to see so much in-depth stuff. But I'm sure we'll be getting some in-depth knowledge about today's guest's work, Mirrored Soul.
I'll give you guys the inside scoop.
Yeah.
Reveal everything. I'll spoil the final boss for you guys.
Absolutely. We're going to wring this
Perfect.
towel dry.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, how are we all doing right now
Doing
Doing
great.
on this
Yeah.
Thursday afternoon?
I just ate a
or
big bowl
evening?
of broccoli, so I'm full of energy.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. And Noah, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you.
Perfect. Well, shall we get right into it? Into the dark past, into the early days of your gaming career. What set you on
Yeah.
that evil path of the gamer?
Okay,
What
you
started
say-
this?
You say dark path and you jest, but there is actually there's actually like,
Uh-oh.
so basically, I've been into video games my whole life, duh. I think the first game I ever played was that like Shrek fighting game for the Game Boy Advance. My parents got it for me for Hanukkah. It was,
Okay.
Shrek Super Slam?
I think so, yeah, no. The first real game I played. How far back we going here?
What's
First
important
memory.
to you? Yeah,
First really formative, relevant gaming
First
memory, I
really
would
formative,
say.
relevant game. Probably some probably Pokemon Fire Red. I think got that when I was like 7.
Mhm.
I think my main takeaway from that game was just like the music was really cool.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I think I'd say I'm totally choking up right now. I'm sorry.
No worries, man. No worries.
Yeah, no.
And don't worry, we're not live, so anything
I
can
think
be edited.
I think my first real experience with like game dev was middle school. I think my buddy Josue bought this like kind of RPG maker knockoff called like OHR PGC. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No.
I'm not.
It's like it was made in QBasic. It was this RPG maker kind of esque program,
Okay.
very rudimentary, very basic. He came to school one day, was like, "No, you got to check out my RPG. You got to check out this RPG I made." I'm like, "Okay,
Okay.
cool.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
okay." It was this project. I think it was called Brainium or something.
Okay.
It was very, very Earthbound inspired, but this was before it was cool. Like this was before like Toby Fox came
Yeah,
swinging
totally.
all over
Right.
the place, being like, "Hey
Yeah.
guys, Earthbound." No, it's before that.
Mhm.
Yeah, he showed me this game that he was working on. I thought, okay, this is actually pretty neat, and now I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to one up your ass.
Yeah, it sparked the.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
I love
we,
that.
we had like we started kind of like a friendly rivalry.
Mhm.
I downloaded the same program, started working my own game called, I think it was called like Tale of Thieves or Thief's Tale or something. This must have been back when I was like 10 or 11. It was a stupid little game about like um these little pixel dudes, these little cloaked
Mhm.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, little creatures.
Sure, sure.
Creatures, yeah. Um I think that was kind of when I realized that my style of writing was almost like it was almost satirical. Like,
Mhm.
as I was like this one fucking line in the game. You can cut this out if you want, but this there was this one line I wrote because I was replaying the game, I think a few years ago. I don't remember adding it, but this one NPC was talking to the main character, being like, "Okay, so anything you have to say for yourself?" And the main guy's like just got into some trouble, and he's like, "Well, and then he thinks it over and realizes he doesn't want to admit his whole plan, so he's just like, the Holocaust." And this is when I was like fucking 10 or 11 or
It's
something.
pretty good.
You already had a good understanding of comedy.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
Absurdism, certainly.
Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah, early works. Okay, very cool. So the passion for game dev started at a young age.
When I was, I think, 15, was getting into a lot of fights with my folks. Things at home weren't going too well. I got sent off to a boarding school basically for mentally ill teenagers such as myself. That was when I started diving pretty deep into Shin Megami Tensei.
Okay.
What a
Soul Hackers.
combination.
Yeah, God.
I
The 1-2
must
punch,
say,
you know.
I know.
As if being in a boarding school full of mentally ill kids wasn't enough. I had to expose myself to fucking Shin Megami Tensei.
I know. So wait, you're saying if I get an this evoker thing, my whole life's gonna change.
oh man.
So Soul Hackers was my only friend for a solid year.
Oh,
Mhm.
3DS,
I was
yeah.
having like dreams about that shit. And one day in gym class, I just got this idea, like, you know what? How about I channel some of that middle school energy and try to just fucking make my own Soul Hackers, like make my own Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I think I first started like drawing like pixel creatures on the computer when I was maybe like 14 or 15, but I didn't really take myself seriously back then. Like I had a few ideas floating around in my head. This
Mhm.
one Zelda clone about like some haunted mansion or something. It was called Mulligan Manor. I don't remember
Okay.
my but no, yeah, my first foray into actual game dev I think started when I was in high school.
Nice.
And I would like actually it was kind of embarrassing. I actually started on Orphage, OHRPGCE or what however the fuck you spell it. It was the same program I used in middle school. I started on that.
And you know, you use what you know. And
Yeah,
then you
fair
build
enough.
from that.
Yeah, no, I go back and look at some of my old like screens, some of my old like some of my old like graphics and like map screens from back when then. Like I still have some of them saved on Dropbox. It's absolutely fucking embarrassing. Just like it's fucking this fucking like autistic teenager just got sent to boarding school. No idea how the world works, trying to make an RPG about a grizzled detective. It's like
Mhm,
um
I can see
mhm.
the genesis of Mirrored Soul there, though.
absolutely, yeah, no.
Wow.
So yeah, when I was
Wow.
I think when I was 20 years old, living in you can cut that out too if it's doxing or whatever. It's yeah, but
I'll put like something
Yeah,
over it.
exactly.
fair enough. Yeah, no, when I was 20 years old, I was I think I had a period of time where I was posting my shit in 4chan a lot. It's kind of like I was kind of a bit of an attention whore, just being like, hey guys, look at my super cool game, look at all the music I'm doing for it. this one dude reached out to me being like, I feel like, hey, dude, bro, I'm gonna be real with you here. I feel sorry for you. I'll help you with your stupid fucking game.
Wow.
He didn't
What
word
a
it like that, but that was kind of the spirit of
Mhm.
right.
yeah. So
Wow.
That's
was
it's
cool.
kind of 4chan
The,
spirit.
yeah, I was gonna say the
Yeah.
4chan MO, the spirit of 4chan in that message.
So
I
this guy and I
see.
were this guy actually built he started working on a framework for me for Mirrored Soul, for me to kind of build off of. And great guy. We started butting heads a lot towards, I think, 2 years into that development cycle. I just don't think we were compatible really working together.
Mhm.
Eventually he up and quit. And that I can understand, he was probably kind of fed up. He this one point actually admitted to me that he never really bothered to play my game.
Oh,
Yeah, the words
jeez.
yeah, no, the words he used were like, bro, this is such dog shit, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, I guess it's just not your type of game, but it's like that just makes it really big of you to help me with it, and I
Yeah.
that a lot.
Oh, thanks, I guess.
What a
Yeah,
bizarre
very
mentality.
very
But
strange messages.
I understand it.
Yeah, yeah, no. But then when my new programmer comes along, actually, I think not a week after that, just being like,
Mhm.
hey man, I heard your old programmer left. I saw you whining about it on AGDG. Um, I've been following your game for a while. I'd love to help out. And him and I are working together to this day. So
Wow. That's such organic networking,
I know. And like honestly,
as it is, you
okay,
know.
part of me wants to say I like fucking manifested that into existence or whatever through some like weird
Yeah.
fucking, I don't
I
know,
mean, hey, right on, man. You know,
Sheer
the
force
world
of
works
will.
in
force of
mysterious
will,
ways,
Yeah.
certainly.
What's what they called serendipity. You got what you
Mhm.
needed right when you
I think
needed it.
so.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And that was so how many years ago was that, or how recently
How
was that?
recent was we'll define that, like which
I
point.
guess the your most recent programmer jumping on.
I think that was in 2022.
Okay, right on.
So how long has Mirrored Soul been in development for?
Like I said, I started drafting it when I was, I think, 18 or 19.
Okay.
Mhm.
And it was maybe 17 actually. It's not important. Actual development, I believe, began in 2020.
Okay, it's a good 4
Okay.
years.
Right on, right on. Very cool. And you mentioned earlier that you were showing off the music that you had composed. Do you have any background in music, or is it just something that you kind of picked up
Not
along the way?
Yeah, yeah. I'd say picked up along. I was always like humming like video game tunes to myself as a
Mhm.
kid.
They're
Um,
superior. OSTs are
Absolutely a
superior.
superior video game. I only listen to real music.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, no. But my parents got me a synthesizer when I was little.
It's sick.
Like would like play tunes on that and stuff.
Yeah,
Just make up
right
shit in my head,
on.
play
Hmm.
as I thought along.
Very
Eventually I
cool.
downloaded I think I pirated this MIDI program when I was, I think, in middle school. Started making like tunes with that.
Nice.
Um, I did some music for Pokemon Sage and Pokemon Clover.
Oh, that's a game that I've been meaning to get
Really?
back into.
Yeah. Nick has been mentioning both.
Yeah,
Yes.
no,
Lately.
shit posting on 4chan. I think I just kind of got entrenched in that crowd. But
Right
yeah.
on. Okay.
I made most of the soundtrack for Mirrored Soul when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah, like a lot of it wasn't even originally intended for Mirrored Soul, I think, but I decided to like later repurpose it because I had
Yeah, I like
a
that.
soundtrack and
Hmm.
yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I don't really have any formal training, no music theory background or experience. I
Sure,
think
sure.
in a
Yeah.
lot of cases it shows. I sometimes look back at my old shit and go, wow, this is garbage. I sometimes look at my new shit and go, wow, this is garbage.
Oh, we're all our own worst critics, you know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
I have to remind my programmer about that a lot. A lot of times he'll message me being like, dude, I'm sorry, I really fucked this up, and he'll show me this fucking Michelangelo ass.
Yeah, it's phenomenal thing. It's like
Yeah,
my man.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you though.
Um, yeah.
Right on. Oh, okay. Well, very cool. Very cool. I love that you're doing the music as well. And I love the idea of repurposing these old ideas and concepts
Yeah.
because as a musician, I understand that like digging up an
Yeah,
old
yeah,
idea is very, very satisfying.
Anywhere I
When
could
you
listen to
can
your stuff?
my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really have a whole lot.
Your drive jacket.
No
published,
worries.
you know.
Well, I mean the theme song.
I mean early or the
Yeah.
end credit theme, yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that I kind of
Yes,
just
and our
ran with.
original theme song before we got
That's
a new
true,
one
we got the
from
Allanson brothers.
Andrew Allanson of Y2K fame.
casually drop that in there.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. But no, I feel like I should try to just put it out more. I feel like that's
Yeah.
the next
I
step
mean,
of
Post it on
creating.
4chan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I post on Mew or something. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
maybe you'll become the next Lord, or at least the next Anthony Fantana.
I mean, honestly, what would you get more out of posting it on Reddit?
Mm.
I don't even know. You might, probably not. Maybe if you like.
I'll post it to all the porn bots that follow me on Twitter, and then maybe one of them will listen.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah,
You're in the background of a really weirdly suggestive TikTok.
Angela, 19, heart emoji, heart emoji.
Yeah.
I love your stuff.
Yes.
What I think about
Finally.
Joe Biden is that with the roast turkey and duck, sometimes you just got to do it. It's like the insane pin tweet they all have.
Yeah, that's the dream. But kind of going back to Mirrored Soul. For our viewers and listeners that don't know what the project is, if you had to pitch it to someone or just let them know what it is at a glance, how would you describe it?
Basically, so my pitch at first was a monster tamer for people who are sick of monster tamers.
Yeah.
Eventually, I realized as a pitch that was total dog shit. So I changed it to like reflect the gameplay, being like, okay, basically it's Shin Megami Tensei, but every monster, every enemy has like a unique dialogue tree for recruitment.
Yes, that is exactly what I've been telling people to try and get them to
Okay.
play
Yeah,
it.
so it's like that's the main draw. It's just like
Wow.
for me is like, the Steam page, it says Mirrored Soul is an RPG where no two monsters are alike or something like that. I
Mhm.
guess that's kind of vague, but what I really mean by that is just like every enemy has their own unique way that they can be recruited.
Okay.
Yes, that was my only
Yeah.
gripe with SMT was that
Yeah, like-
monsters of the same family will have the same dialogue.
Oh, the
Yeah.
same like formula that you use.
Like honestly, looking
yeah.
back, I feel like maybe that's what I should have been doing, but like I'm in too deep now. 'cause
No, don't change it. I already
Yeah.
like it, so keep at it.
Yeah, there
I'm
you
honored.
go.
Yeah, no.
You're on
Um,
something.
But yeah, like not only that, but like it's not the conditions to recruit them. Originally, it wasn't going to be that way. Originally, they're just going to be like you did like a yes or a no or like a maybe or like you selected dialogue, and eventually, if they agreed with what you were saying, they'd join your party.
Mhm.
It was actually I think Hex, it was my old programmer who suggested like no, this is gonna get really boring. I feel like you should give them like different recruitment conditions each. And so I was like, actually, it's a good idea. And so there are some that I admit kind of get cryptic. Like there's this one motherfucker in like chapter 2 who you have to go out of your way to like find the secret book and then read an article, read a passage in this book, and that'll give you the answer to how to recruit this guy, and then that'll translate into the game.
Mhm.
See,
I feel
that's
like a lot of it was kind of I made it a bit unfair to players in certain points.
I don't think so at all. I think that this is actually what's kind of missing from games is that
Maybe,
kind of
yeah, the
sense of
crypticism, right?
yeah, cryptic, mysterious. It's kind of got that feeling of the original Pokemon games as well.
Yeah.
Something
And
lying below the surface.
I think
I like
that's
that.
it's kind of the beauty of like those kinds of games. Like you used to be like, I guess before my time, there was Nintendo Power magazine where you'd like open it and like
Yeah, only for old
you also
folks.
have to, like they'd give you like tips and tricks. And, like you have to like
Who
network
would
with your
read
friends.
gaming mags in their youth?
You'd have to like
So-
ask your friends and shit like
Mhm.
how they managed to get the fucking dildo of gold or whatever.
Sure, sure, yeah. The classic
but-
item in Zelda, folks. The little gold.
Yeah, no, but I think in a way, Mirrored Soul was kind of built in that spirit, like the spirit of community. Like I don't know how big my player base is gonna be. I can't imagine it's gonna be huge. I'm chalking it up to being my first project, but like, yeah, I'm not great at marketing. But
Hey, that's why you're here. That's
Fair
why we're
enough,
doing the
fair
show
enough, yeah.
today.
I mean, I
Listeners,
found you
Wish
through,
list this shit.
yeah. I found the game through the little blurb on the BGAs.
Yeah.
I
Play the
saw you on.
demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
but
just was a case of working up the stones to ask you on here.
well, I know I'm very intimidating. I know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, God. but yeah, and I'd say in a sense, Mirrored Soul is kind of built in that spirit of like, oh, you don't know how to do something. Maybe you got a friend who does know how to do that thing. Maybe you can like ask them, or like maybe they'll like maybe some forum will pop up, where people will be
Mhm.
like, oh, this is how you do so and so, blah
Mhm.
blah blah blah. Yeah.
That was actually real quick. One of the mods I really liked. I can't remember the name, but he like feeds you this total bullshit story about going like, oh, go 7 squares west and then three east and then
Okay.
one south. And I actually tried it, and nothing happened.
I'm not gonna spoil that, but okay, I'm gonna give a bit of a spoiler. Um, if you fuck up the dialogue, or like if you successfully recruit him, he says, "Wait, I forgot. There's also a secret item you need." And so, yeah, I was never planning on having that just be a throwaway gag.
Oh, that's
I love
real.
it. I love it.
Yeah, no,
There
later
you
on in the
go.
game,
Okay.
there's like, yeah, there's,
I
and I
thought
guess
I thought he was like the monster equivalent of
he's
like the kid
that's
with an uncle at
yeah,
Nintendo.
that's the basic. It's like a bait and switch. You think he's just bullshitting, but like there's
Mm.
actually like later on, yeah, no. But
Wow,
no,
I love
that
that.
very much was what I had in mind when I was writing. It was like that shithead kid who's like, oh yeah, you can unlock blah blah. My dad works in,
Hmm.
yeah, no,
Yeah. I feel like he's the Jack Frost of Mirrored Soul.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Blighter, I think was his name.
Yeah, I think so.
So with Mirrored Soul, how big is the development team? Is it just you,
It's
or yeah? I mean, you had another program you
it's
mentioned,
me
but
and okay, so it's me and the postmortem would be my old programmer, and then I think
Mhm.
there's three other guys. We got me,
Okay.
um, my current programmer, and then a tile set artist, and then we got someone doing concept art
Okay, right
for
on,
like the
right on.
promo stuff.
Yeah.
And that's like the active team. There were a lot of people who kind of pitched in to help out. Like
Mm.
this one guy actually met on like the now defunct RPG Maker General and VG. Um, reached out to me like offering to do some promo art for the Steam capsule, and that guy like I haven't heard from him in years, but he was the one who did the like main artwork
Wow.
for the Steam
Oh, the
page.
actual
Love it.
banner.
Just left and
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
thumbprint. Yeah, a
Like
thumbprint on the work. I
my
love that.
favorite was that like vertical banner he did with like Cecil like looking at the tree and stuff with the notebook.
Yeah, yeah, and I see that right
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
top.
yeah, 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 yeah. No,
Mm.
that one, like that was chef's kiss.
Very
I
cool.
think,
Well, shout out to that guy
Yeah,
if you're listening.
mystery artist.
Yes.
I think he went by like Mav or something, MAAV. I don't remember.
Wherever you are.
Wherever you are, your work is still being appreciated to this day.
Never forget.
Exactly. I think that's the greatest compliment you could receive as an artist. It's like, oh, fuck
Absolutely,
yeah.
man.
Still touching someone. Yeah. Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. And well, having such a small team, how have you handled the challenges that comes with this being, one of your first projects, doing like this, and then,
Those are plentiful.
I suppose we don't have to go over every single one. I don't want to do
Well, I
that.
mean,
I don't want
absolutely,
to
yeah,
knock you
absolutely, no,
down.
no, 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 no. But one of the main issues I come up with is my current programmer will like come across some shit from like early in dev and be like, Noah, how the fuck do I fix this? Like, how the fuck do I? And I'll just be like, I'm gonna be honest, bro. I had no idea what the hell I would like. I think earlier this month, actually, we're having a conversation. He told me something about how this one map I made like used tile sets from like fucking 5 different images all in one map.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Like a lot of this was duct tape and prayers. Like a lot of it, especially in early in development, this is like stitched together like Frankenstein.
Hmm.
It's like, um, so that's a big hurdle is like whenever we come across like a ghost from the past, like something from early, very early in development coming back to bite us in the ass. Um, that's a big issue. Um, apart from that, I'd say consistency is something I kind of struggle with. Like a lot of the times I'll just have like writer's block writing a piece of dialogue and I'll just be like, okay, guess I'm going to go work on a map now, and then I'll try to work on a
Hmm.
map, and it's just like, okay, then I come across like just like, oh damn, now I'm gonna have to make a tile for that, and then I want by the time I actually open the tile set, like the Aesop right or whatever, like I'm just so zonked
You
from
just feel like you've like
Yeah,
just
overloaded.
started on many different avenues. And I see, I
exactly,
see.
yeah.
Well, conversely, what do you feel are the advantages of having a small team, of doing it yourself? And
Um,
what have
uh,
you enjoyed about the process, right?
we're very close. It's like a family almost, I'd say. Like
Hmm.
actually,
Like that.
yeah, there was like a server for the game on like Discord, I think from forever ago. I actually had to move that over to like its own private channel because it was getting a bit too personal. Like we were all kind of starting to overshare and like just starting to like talk about our lives and shit. And like
No, for
the,
sure,
the,
for
the
sure.
Mirrored Soul took up a very small portion of the
Of the discussion,
Yeah.
certainly.
So yeah, but I'd say yeah, part of the appeal, not what's the word? Part of the draw of having like a small team and a small kind of following is
Mhm.
just where like everyone knows each other. It's very comfy, very cozy, very
Yeah, no, I can understand that sentiment.
yeah.
Certainly. Right on. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when talking influences for the game, and I feel like Nick is going to be more knowledgeable here. But I mean, Nick, tell me, like from first glance, what did you assume were influences from this title, aside from
I
Shin
mean, when
Megami
I tell
Tensei, I
people,
suppose.
well, yeah, the main thing I tell people is obviously like, oh, if you like Shin Megami Tensei, imagine if it was in America. That's like
Yeah.
this game essentially. But
Pretty
outside of that,
Mhm.
um,
And what'd
I
you
was
clock, from playing it,
I
from
was kind of
looking
wondering
at it?
actually while playing it, if you drew any inspiration from the game Lisa. I felt like little,
Lisa. That's a good ass question. Not really consciously, but I can see where you draw the parallels. Yeah, like
yes,
like kind of it's kind of like you don't really expect to play like a pixel RPG and like suddenly be playing as some like grizzled middle-aged dude.
right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lisa, I'd say Lisa had more of a subconscious influence than a conscious one.
Hmm.
In terms
Very
of
cool.
like influences that are like at the forefront of my mind, definitely Shin Megami Tensei, definitely Pokemon, definitely
Mhm.
I'd say this one series I liked was Telefang. I think that was
Telefang.
it's this
I don't think
like
I'm familiar.
it's this I think it was Japan only, this Game Boy RPG. But basically when I was a kid there were all these sites you could go on that would have like bootleg NES
Yeah,
games and Game
Oh,
Boy
it'd be
games. Yeah.
like
this
Pokemon.
does this does look
Yeah,
like bootleg ass
there's one like there's
Pokemon.
like called like Pokemon Topaz or something. You played it
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like I
Japanese
could have
game.
bought this at like the
Yeah,
mall in the Philippines I
exactly. Yeah,
visited as a
yeah.
kid. Yeah.
It had really shitty
Yeah.
translations. They say stuff like, shit, you got the
Yes.
number? Yeah.
Oh my God, I did
How do you
have this as a
forget?
kid.
Wait, you
Fuck.
did?
I thought I just had a fucked up copy of Pokemon Gold. I was like, what is
Yeah, no,
this?
it was sold as a fake, as a
Oh,
Pokemon game.
yeah. See,
So
because I
I
was
got
like 7 at the time, so
yeah.
that could make sense.
So I got into those
That's
games from that
incredible. I love
experience. Yeah.
that.
Um, like the soundtrack in those games, it was kind of like it's kind of those games I feel like are almost a mix of Pokemon and Shin Megami Tensei. Like you can like talk to
Mm.
monsters, get their phone numbers
Hmm.
and stuff. Like
Hmm.
that's where the
Jesus.
Tele and Telethang comes and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. The soundtrack was absolutely phenomenal. I think that was a bit of a kind of deep cut influence on Mirrored Soul. A few other
Incredible.
yeah,
I
it's
must
a
have played something similar, yeah, if not the same. They're definitely
few other
bootleg, yeah.
say surprisingly I'd say Castlevania, like
Oh, really?
the Symphony
Really?
of the Night kind of
Which one?
Metroidvania
Okay.
ones.
Okay.
Those played a bit of the of influence on like the world building, I'd say. Just like because I was very enamored with how you'd go out of your way to find secrets in those games. I think
Hmm.
Aria of Sorrow, one of my favorite games in the series. I think that
My
was
favorite.
That is Nick's favorite, yeah.
yeah, I think that game was a big kind of influence on like not necessarily the gameplay or the writing style, but definitely the world building and like the maps and like the secrets and stuff was I think that's very Castlevania.
Nice.
Cecil's Code, just like Soma's.
Yeah, just like Soma Cruz himself,
Yeah.
huh? Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Did you play a lot of games handheld or
Handheld, I think I was a handheld kid growing up. Yeah, like I was
yeah, I
a
was gonna say you mentioned your DS in high
I was a
school
big
and
Nintendo kid, and
yeah.
I didn't really branch out from Nintendo. I think actually well into adulthood, which is kind of embarrassing. But
Eh,
I
everyone has a
mean,
different journey at
There's a
some
lot of
point.
adults
Yeah.
that are still stuck in Nintendo.
Yeah.
fair enough.
Also, that's
Yeah,
also
I mean
fair.
the main games I play nowadays are just like I just like emulate like old like PS2 and like
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah
Some Y2K nostalgia.
yeah
It's good for
yeah
everybody, really. It's good for everyone.
yeah play a lot of like just random slop on itch.io.
Slop.
I love that you're exploring. I feel like those are catalogs that I feel like I should be. Yeah, I really should be broadening my horizons, but
Oh, there's great stuff on there.
yeah.
Really good stuff just gets brought over to Steam though, and then like 3 people buy it.
Fucking Katawa Shoujo today apparently.
Oh, it was on Steam?
We were just talking about this on
Yeah,
another episode.
That's true.
Incredibly.
Katawa Shoujo on Steam, yeah. Crippled Dating Sim Steam.
Well,
Yeah, I remember playing that. and
Don't
being
look
like,
at my achievement
no.
list, everyone.
It's no Fate Stay night. Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
I can't believe that Sam romanced the burn victim. So predictable.
She was my favorite. I'm sorry.
I think I went for the what was the armless girl, Rin?
Oh,
So
yeah,
say
the-
like the
I
one
liked
with
her.
the prosthetic legs or whatever. Yeah.
Nah, I
Or the
like
blind gal, you know.
She had no emotions. And I was like, wow, she's just like me.
She just like me for real.
Right
You
on.
know?
Right on. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at with the modern scene.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I played a lot of like actual like modern, AAA experiences.
No, it's fine.
That's
I think it's
fine.
completely fine to sort of loathe where modern
Absolutely,
day
yeah.
gaming is at.
What do you mean you didn't buy Assassin's Creed Shadows?
Right, you mentioned emulating PS2 games, and I just imagine like, oh, the user experience was so much more straightforward in that era. Is that something that you're kind of trying to bring with your design philosophy with game dev these days, or is it not really
Oh no,
in your
I'd
mind
say,
at
I'd say
all?
I'd say a little bit. Yeah, no. I mean, the main thing I'm carrying over from the olden, the golden days. The main thing I'm carrying over from
As
then.
they say,
Yeah.
sure.
The
Mhm.
main thing I'm carrying over from back then was just like the notion of not really holding the player's hand. The notion of
Yes,
kind of having
yes.
to earn your like discoveries and stuff.
Mhm.
A
We
lot of people
appreciate that.
a lot of people complained that like they're getting their ass absolutely stomped by like some motherfuckers in the first two screens of the game. I think it didn't start as an intentional decision to have a bit of a backwards difficulty curve at first, but I think eventually
Mhm.
embraced that. And
Pushback is good. It makes you think.
Yeah.
You start questioning why am I failing, and then
Yes,
Yeah,
the
but
Kamiya mindset.
ideally, yes, you.
a lot of people were like, it's kind of like I have no idea how
It's
people
too
handle it.
hard, man. I don't get it.
A lot of people were like dying to like the tutorial mini boss that's supposed to teach you how to play.
Really? The batter?
Yeah, the good hands, yeah, the baseball dude. Um, I'm still rather perplexed as to how that managed to happen. No disrespect, but
Mhm.
But
yeah,
get
we
better at
ended up,
games.
yeah, no, absolutely. What's the matter? Bad at video games?
Yeah, no, but seriously.
I don't want to say skill issue, but it sounds like a skill issue.
Yeah, this game's for everyone, but if you're bad at video games, maybe, I don't know, get your older brother to try it first.
But,
Watch
okay.
Yeah,
it.
maybe
So-
Farmville might be your more.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Maybe go back to Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, sorry. That might be a little too difficult.
Oh, ouch. That's a harsh slam. But regarding like, players hitting a wall, do you, I guess, how do you go about designing it after, like, moving forward? Like, well, I know that they're gonna fail. Do you mitigate that by making the time to get back to where they were very short, or try to not make failure a consequence, or is it something where you're like, no, if you fail, you're fucking
I
up
feel
it.
like I was very, very generous with save points. Like I
Okay.
feel like I was putting a save point in every other two screens. I think like halfway into like development, I kind of realized I was going a bit overboard, being a bit too coddling, and I decided to try spacing them out a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know
Dangle
if
that
I'm going
stick.
to actually revisit this, and that might not be a great sign since we're so close to release. But my programmer suggested this idea of like maybe when you die, you lose a certain amount of money, and you can choose to take the hit or go back to your last save.
Like Charon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can choose to like take the hit to your funds or just go back to the last save. We might end up implementing that. We might not. It's kind of up in the air at the moment.
Mhm.
But I feel like that if we do, that might be a good way to kind of bridge that gap.
Yeah,
For
certainly.
less experienced and
Okay. And kind of segueing from that, are you trying to tackle any of the, I mean, you are obviously with concept alone, you're tackling tropes of the genre
yeah.
and a mechanic, and you're exploring that differently. Is there anything else other than the central kind of, monster taming that you're trying to, I don't want to say subvert, or just explore rather?
It's a good question. Ultimately, I'd say
Narratively or through
Yeah,
level
like-
design or art. Yeah.
without giving too much away, I will say
Mhm.
that Soul's narrative is rather straightforward. Like
Okay.
I wouldn't say there's any like huge like subversions to any kind of
It's like the end of Evangelion,
Yeah,
everyone,
it's-
is what
yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah, no, but it all comes tumbling down,
Mhm.
and
Certainly.
yeah, no, it's I will say
Mhm.
my idea for the final boss scenario, I've thought it like I've done at least fucking 5 different
Iterations.
iterations of that.
Yeah.
Gone through a few, like the one I settled on, I feel like might piss a few people off.
Hey, you know,
Yeah, no,
that's a good sign, I
honestly,
think.
exactly. Yeah, like I feel
Mhm.
like my idea for the very last stretch of the game, that might be where the subversion ends up kind of making it happen. You know,
Okay.
that might end up be where the subversion.
I see. I see. Yeah, I'm all for, our games and our art challenging us because it should.
Fair enough.
Should.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, Nick, you got any questions you're trying to get answered? Any insights you'd like revealed about Mirrored Soul right now? Well, we've got Noah on the mic.
Well, what exactly is the release date?
It was originally going to be the end of this year.
Mhm.
I'm going to forecast that's absolutely not happening at this
Fair
point.
enough, man.
We're thinking April 2025.
Okay.
Got
I
it.
will say
April
we're a lot
2025.
we're a
Yeah,
lot
quarter
far-
one.
we're a lot further along by now than we thought we'd be, and that's good. But we're not as far along as I would have liked.
Hmm.
So
Okay, fair enough. So there's light at the end of the tunnel, but you're not nearly as
absolutely, yeah,
close as you'd like to be, certainly. Of course. Of
And then
course.
with that, are you planning on updating the demo any further in that case?
absolutely, yeah. No, there's
Oh, the
Perfect.
demo before release, right on. Okay.
there's going to be a pretty big overhaul coming next.
Oh, very cool.
So you know there have been quite a few pretty big overhauls.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this one is necessarily going to be the biggest, but it's definitely top 3, I'd say. So
Significant.
significant.
Right on.
Great.
Okay, cool.
I played originally with the older graphics before you
I'm
got
so
the new
embarrassed.
tile sets
I'm
and
so sorry.
the new UI.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I mean, I thought it was engaging enough to actually get through the whole demo
Fair enough.
in like one sitting. And then I went back and I opened up. I saw the pretty new AI,
So what
everything
is-
moving around. I was like,
It's like-
ooh,
Rub your eyes, like,
The,
yeah, what was it?
the whole
Wrong?
Superstar Saga esque.
yeah, with the passport and everything, or the
Yeah.
ID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's looking very good.
Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what you add next to it.
Yeah, another update to the demo. That's very exciting. Have you been receiving a lot of feedback from the demo via Steam, or do you have a Discord for the game, or via a website?
I do
perhaps?
have that there is a quality assurance section of my server. It doesn't get a lot of input. I do also have, there's also the page on Steam, where people like give their 2 cents and stuff.
Mhm.
I've got quite a few people saying, "Oh, this is a pleasant surprise, or this is way better than I expected," which is kind
Oh,
of
that's good.
like,
Little hint of the reception you're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
receive.
yeah.
That's nice.
The most glowing feedback I've ever received, the most glowing praise, was something that wasn't intended as such.
Okay,
Some
okay,
dude was
love
like,
it.
"Oh, I actually really dislike the rating in Mirrored Soul. It reminds me of those eras of like manga scanlations when everything was like all crass and like had a bunch of cuss words and shit." I'm just like, hell yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's the tone I was going for.
I was going
Yeah.
for the
All
telething
according to
mistranslation.
Keikaku.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I love those subs of Naruto that I watched. I'm like, wow, Naruto said fuck
Yeah.
this week. That was crazy,
I
dude.
can't believe Vegeta called Goku a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Whoa.
Or whatever that
Man,
is in
I don't
Japanese.
understand Japanese. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like pivot a little bit. Final Fantasy 16 was probably like so many teenagers were just like anxiously waiting for it to like Final Fantasy characters are saying fuck.
They are. Oh my goodness.
They don't
They're having
know.
sex.
They're having sex. It's so dark.
Way back when Tales of Fantasia mistranslation. I was
Mm.
seeing fuck. Oh, way back
Was
then.
there,
Way
a line
back
before
wasn't there a
then.
line in that game like I heard so and so fucks like a tiger?
Yeah,
know.
I bet Arch fucks like a tiger. I thought that was a
Yeah,
real
yeah.
line until this year. And so I was like, oh no, that was
the
a
year of our
translation
Lord,
team fucking
2024.
around.
Ruined.
I
Oh.
know. I was like, well, now this game is bad.
Oh, no, I don't want to play it ever again. Yeah.
Now I don't like it.
Very good. Wow. That's great. Thank you for answering that question. Was not expecting that feedback from you, but very cool.
Yeah. What's the craziest, most wild and crazy and what the hell kind of thing you've got about the game?
The most scandalous feature,
I'm
yes.
going to try to answer that question with an equal amount of eloquence.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just fucking with you. Don't worry. I feel like the most outlandish aspect of Mirrored Soul in general is exactly what we were just talking about. It's like, you know, I've come to realize there's not really any necessity for characters to be swearing. Like, I feel like none of it really adds to the plot in any significant way or whatever. Like, there's no, I mean, I guess Cecil does, like he's you know, he's a fucking alcoholic, but apart from that, there's no real necessity for characters to be swearing or like saying like
So
shit.
crass.
So crass,
Certainly.
yeah, no.
Mhm.
So, you know, eventually I kind of came to a point where I was like asking myself, do I really need to keep this? Like, do I really want to sacrifice reaching a, you know, a bigger age demographic for just like keeping the charm? And I realized, yes, I do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
committing to the bit is
It's
crucial.
absolutely,
I
yeah.
agree.
So I'd
Yeah.
say, yeah, no, that's the most striking element of Mirrored Soul is the fact that he doesn't really need to be saying shithead, but he says shithead.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick's been enjoying Stranger Paradise, so I feel like this is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
up his
I'm like,
alley. It's so
"Fucking
up
kill
his
Chaos.
alley. Yeah.
What the fuck, Lee?"
Yeah, exactly. Shut the
Chaos
fuck
isn't
up.
real.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck,
Limp
bullshit.
Biscuit. Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh.
he is. Idiots.
Yeah, isn't this a nice surprise? Chaos is real.
Uh,
Oh,
I love
excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. And so we're looking at that release date, kind of Q1 2025. And we briefly mentioned you would like to kind of support the game post-launch, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
What would that look like? What are you thinking there?
I don't really know.
Mirror
I
coin.
feel like
NFTs, you know. Classic.
it's like my spot has two eyes.
Yeah.
There you go.
I feel like you know, I advertised they would have over 200 monsters.
Mhm.
At the moment, we're at the 150 mark,
Mhm.
and we're like 6 months out to release, and we've been in dev for like 5 years. Mostly because, you know, making a dialogue tree for each one is a pretty big hurdle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
yeah.
whole selling point.
I feel like that might be where the post game support lies, just like really sticking to that promise and like adding the full 200. It might not come straight out the gate. I feel
Sure.
like EA saying that.
Yeah,
But,
this is your national Dex announcement.
God, you know, the Battle Frontier project has begun.
Yes. Oh, what a pain. And then nothing. Well, you know, what
Well,
not to do.
Exactly. We know you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We know you're
Oh,
going to put the
okay.
Battle Frontier in Mirrored Soul, don't worry. You heard it here first.
From his
Battle
mouth.
Frontier Mirrored Soul.
Yeah, the Mirror
Okay.
Factory.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's very exciting to hear and very happy to hear. And hoping for the best with Mirrored Soul,
Thank
you know. Yeah. And kind of looking beyond that. And if you haven't really thought about this, I understand. But from speaking to other devs, you know, they kind of explain like what their drawers are full of ideas. So do you have anything else in the pipeline or anything you'd want to kind of explore?
Yes, I do. First
Okay.
of all,
Ooh. Intriguing.
I'm just gonna spill my guts out here and say I
Hey,
originally
you know.
had
Perfect.
plans for a trilogy.
Okay.
You know, back when
Ambitious.
back when I was in high school, first wrapping up Mirrored Soul, you know, my friends and I would like stay up all night and like just like in my dorm room, like talking about like
Yeah.
they were kind of in on it too. You know, they'd kind of like they did a bit of like early editing for Mirrored Soul,
Yeah.
like for the skeleton of what would become Mirrored Soul.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about like all the crazy plans we'd have for like our trilogy and how we'd make it our magnum opus. And you know, while I doubt such ambition will come to light in you know its full glory or whatever, I feel like I do intend to follow through with plans for potential new installments to the series.
No, I love that. Yeah.
I also have ideas for just like, you know, since my programmer, you know, after Mirrored Soul, I assume he's gonna want a good long break.
Certainly.
I
And you
might
should
just,
take a break.
yeah,
yes.
absolutely. And I might just fuck around RPG Maker, make a few just like side projects, make a few just like random, you know.
Yeah.
Send them our way.
Pub stump and a game jam.
We'd love to.
I had this idea for
stream it or
this one game
something.
called, I think, Morgenstern, where the main draw of the game is the massive plot twist at the end. So,
Right
I
on.
mean, that's going to be a hard sell, but
Yeah. Have you ever seen an M. Night Shyamalan movie? No,
Yeah,
no,
there
the
you
good
go.
ones.
What a beast!
The ones you like.
Ones you like. Yeah. There's got to be one. Certainly.
Wow, not even the one with Bruce
L-
Willis. Come on,
Lady,
man.
Lady in the
Yeah.
Water is an acquired taste,
There
okay?
you go. Yeah. Look at it
See,
again as an adult. You'll look at it differently.
The
Yeah.
Happening is a dark comedy.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg was actually good in that movie. Very good. Okay. Well, very cool. Very, very, very intriguing to hear about
Yeah.
the ambitions beyond the project. But I also love that, and I appreciate you for opening up about your past and kind of telling us about the connection that you have to video games.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, it got a bit real, but
No, I
No,
appreciate it.
don't in the slightest.
Yeah, yeah. We appreciate you opening up
thank you.
and trusting. Yeah.
Games are everything, after all.
They are, one of our favorite things. So yeah, we get you there. Well, right on. Moving on from that, I think we can close out with some community Q&A. It looks like Jake, viewers and listeners, is not going to make
fine.
today's show, but it happens.
He's probably
you know?
busy playing League of Legends or something.
Cilantro or old school RuneScape. Yeah. Very good. Jake, we love you. And we got the first question coming in from Donnie Q. He asks, when did it click for you? Is there a moment when you woke up and realized this is what you wanted to make? And we've sort of touched
Yeah,
upon
we
this.
already went over that. I feel like
Yeah.
I will say that, before Mirrored Soul, I was like hopping from like idea in my head to idea in my head. I had like a lot of like ideas that I thought was going to be my big thing, when I grew up and like become a big shot game dev. That would be my first project. I feel like the only way Mirrored Soul was different from any of those was that it was the one that actually occurred when I was on the cusp of like, actually being able, like, old enough and like mentally stable enough to pursue that stuff seriously.
Certainly. Hey, that's important. Yeah.
So I feel like Mirrored Soul won out in the end because it was the latest. So yeah.
Yeah. The most matured idea.
Most mature.
Recency bias strikes again.
And I honestly thank God for that, because some of my ideas when I was a kid were unhinged.
What about a game where you kill everyone?
He's just playing Psychonauts.
He's playing Postal.
Yeah, there you go. Right on.
Raccoons, beloved community member.
Thank you,
I think
Raccoons. And thank
both
you,
of our
Donnie, for those
communities.
questions.
Yes, thank you, Donnie. Raccoons asked, favorite Clovermon?
There is that one who looks like a fucking aborted fetus or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the ghost type.
Yeah, the ghost type. Yeah, no, he was actually
wow.
like that, like genuinely, like putting aside the edgy jokes and stuff. I feel like that guy's design is genuinely top notch, and I wish I had
Yes.
designed it.
That's the thing about Clover, is that for every
Whatever stupid
data
like,
design,
meme or whatever, there's actually like something that could actually be really cool in like a legit game.
yeah, a genuinely very, very good design,
Yeah.
very unique.
Yeah.
What is the difficulty of the game going to be like? So I know you mentioned the reverse
Yeah, I
difficulty
already touched
curve.
upon that. As
Yeah.
difficult curve is a bit backwards, I feel like, and my programmer and I are actually trying to mitigate that a little bit. We had a conversation earlier today actually about balancing out the damage numbers and the stats and stuff, just like across the board. I will say it's not as my own as from a very, very non-biased standpoint of the person who's playtesting his own video game that he knows everything about top to bottom, is that I feel like it's not too easy. Like, it's not one of those like spam ultima to win type of games,
Yeah.
but it's not like insane. It's not like especially like ball crushing.
Right.
Difficult, yeah.
I mean, when
It
I
pushes
first played
back,
the
but
game,
not-
Yeah,
I
exactly.
did not die once until the boss, and then I did die, I'll admit, 3 times. Okay, go ahead and laugh, but that was I feel like that's the way it's supposed
guy
to
sucks.
be. You know?
Yeah, no.
The battles are supposed to be fun, but not impossible, and the
Yeah,
bosses
yeah.
are where the real struggle
Failure
is.
is not the end of the world in video games, certainly.
Yeah.
Right on.
Let's see.
Right.
Any lines of dialogue you're the most proud of?
We kind of approached the
there's-
essence of this
yeah.
question
There's
earlier.
this
Yeah.
one. There's this
You're such
one
good
that I
interviewers.
literally like just don't want to spoil because I'm so fucking.
Oh, then don't. Then
proud of
don't.
myself for it. But yeah, no.
Yeah, DM
Aside
me.
from that,
DM big, yeah.
yeah, aside from that,
Is there like a
lot of
specific
okay, so
character that you're
this
like
is
particularly proud of?
this is a bit of a tangent, but I'm gonna bring it back. Trust me.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Is that like a lot of people on AGDG for some reason assume that I'm British because I use a lot of like British slang in my game. The reason for that is because my mom grew up in Edinburgh, Scotland. She isn't straight up British, but like she kind of brought a lot of
Sure, that side of
yeah.
the
So like
world. Yeah, that culture.
I kind of
Okay.
grew up in a lot of those terms. So like no, but I'm a full blooded American. I will put
Good.
that out there. But I did decide to lean into that a little bit and have a few like fucking enemy monsters just like fucking straight up talking Cockney rhyming slang.
Oh, I love that. Okay,
Yeah,
like
that's right
it's
on. Apples and pears, mate.
yeah. And like all sixes and sevens. But
Nice, nice.
and one of them, Cecil, actually kind of like responds to like not like as if it's some alien language. Like he talks to Spot, he's like,
It's like,
Spot,
what the fuck are you
what are
saying?
you saying? And like he has to get Spot to
Love
decipher
that.
and stuff. And like I just like kind of decided to lean into that. Like
Nice. Oh, very cool. Very
Cool
fun.
language.
Yeah, very fun example of real life culture steeping your worldview into your game.
so yeah.
Well, that does
Be on
answer the
lookout
question too.
For
Yeah.
the broken tooth monster. All right. And that was more of a personal statement from Raccoons. Just says, can't wait to purchase Mirrored Soul. Oh, whoopsie. On
And
April 2025, he says.
there you go. Yes.
Yeah. That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what he
Word for word.
said. This and the Catholic Monster Girl dating sim are the only games he's looking forward to.
That's
There
not
you
a
go.
question.
Yeah. He just wanted to let you know.
Oh,
Much
did you see that
appreciated.
video I linked, by the way?
I literally just like decided to watch it like a second before
Hopping on the
onto this
call.
call, and I forgot what it
Incredible.
was. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I was wanting to see if it would make you physically ill, was all.
And
So,
it turns out it didn't. You
I'll
got
tell-
through this
Just,
interview wonderfully.
I'll take your word for it that it was absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, just regular idea guy stuff.
Yeah,
Dr.
Dr. J.
J.
We kind of answered these questions as well.
But is there any mechanic from a previous Shin Megami Tensei or Pokemon game that
Yeah, any
you wish
monster
would come
hunter.
back?
I brought up Telefang very briefly. The monsters in that game gave you their phone number. There's something similar in Mirrored Soul, not with the monsters, but just like with like NPCs in the city. There is going to be more of the city. Like there's only a little bit of that in the demo, and it's very bare bones. We're going to flesh that out a bit. But you get this smartphone after the demo ends, and you get to like talk to NPCs and record their numbers and stuff, and like call them randomly at random moments, and they'll say stuff. So
I like that.
Yeah, Pokenav.
yeah, exactly, kind of.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, I was thinking like a codec call. How nice.
Some Metal
That
Gear.
was different. Yeah, Metal Gear. Right on. Right on.
And Lars from Norway wants to know, have you played Cassette Beast? What'd you think of it?
I have not played Cassette Beasts. I'm terribly sorry to disappoint. I honestly, this is a bit petty, but I have a bit of a, I take a bit of an umbrage with.
With Cassette Beast, I'm gonna need some context here. Treat me
No,
as the uninformed
okay,
heathen. What is
so-
Cassette Beasts? Is it like
I met this lovely girl a few years ago. The creator of Cassette Beast stepped in, and I'm just kidding.
oh, I was like, wait, is this real?
No. I just have I take a bit of an issue with like monster taming, monster collecting, and RPGs that just like are very clearly don't even try to pretend they're not just Pokemon.
Pandering.
Yeah, exactly. Like like
Yes.
RPG, like fucking ones that name themselves after the kind of monster you would catch in the game. That just rubs me the wrong way for some reason. Like Koromon and like Nexomon and like Doromon and all that stuff.
It feels a little
it feels
soulless.
very yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cassette Beast is a bit different, I guess, in that it doesn't end in mod, and there's a bit of but no.
If it was
on the whole,
Cassette
I'd
Beast
say-
Mon, it would be over.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it's a great game. I just personally don't really have any interest in it. So
Hey, and you know what? That's fair. People don't need to play every game. You don't need to like every game.
And you're a Digimon hater. Interesting.
Are you a Digimon hater? Is this a true life fact?
Well, I met this lovely girl a few years ago, the creator of Digimon.
Ah, of course. He came in and said, "Hey, I made Digimon." She said, "I'm out of here." That's
Random
money.
Digimon.
Yeah.
I never really knew anything about Digimon. I was more like
Fair
a
enough.
/ Yu-Gi-Oh kid.
Yeah.
But
Okay. I feel like a Digimon would have fit nicely right in there, but I
I mean,
respect it.
I
Respect it.
didn't dislike Digimon. I just like didn't
Mhm.
really bother with it for some reason. I don't really know why.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It wasn't on TV when I was at home. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, Digimon
Well,
World 1, great game, but that's about it.
nice.
Cool.
Nice. Well, right on. Well, thank you, community members, for those questions. Nick, you got any burning questions before we move on to plugin?
Myself, I think I
Any
asked
last minute thoughts about the project, or perhaps any of Noah's personal taste?
personal
Now's your
taste.
chance.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. What's your favorite random ass RPG Maker game?
That's a good question. It might be the Grey Garden.
And what made it
Great God.
so good? Yes. What
Um,
sets it apart from, the sea of RPG Maker games?
okay, I'm just gonna say, like, all the DSP Deep Sea Prisoner games, the gameplay is absolute dog shit. And there's nothing really fun about them. I just really like their art style and their music and their kind of vibe and like ambiance.
I
and stuff.
think, yeah, that can carry an experience a long way. It's like, oh God, this is I love these vibes, but I don't
exactly.
necessarily enjoy this action that I'm doing. But sometimes the vibes are enough, and I completely
Fair enough.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of RPG Maker games are at their best when they don't have any battling, unfortunately.
The Disco Elysium approach, I love it.
Yeah.
See, Disco Elysium just ripped off RPG Maker. Wait a
It's
second.
true. Our own
Wait a
has a
second.
lot of DNA in Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
Gone home, just fucking
Yeah.
bit the fuck off of Ebe.
It's true. It's sad. It's sad, really, when you get down to brass tacks. It just makes you want to cry.
Yeah. Well, earlier you mentioned that you don't really play a lot of, the modern scene.
Yeah.
Is there anything though, like from the past, I'll say like 10 years, give or
10 years. I
take?
mean, that's
It's a wide net, maybe the
Yeah.
last 5,
yeah.
this last console generation, the PS5
There's
and
gotta
on.
have been some,
Or has there been anything on the PC, that has been appealing to you?
Yakuza titles, perhaps.
Like a Dragon, I guess that was 7. So I'm still getting used to calling it Like a Dragon now, but that one was pretty good. I think Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance.
Oh yeah, so you
The
know that.
original Shin Megami Tensei 5 I didn't like. I thought it was
Yes. Isn't
kind
that
of
what
soulless, honestly.
Nick
I
was
feel like
saying?
I was getting worried that it would start to be like a husk of itself, and then Soul Hackers 2 came out, like just like fucking shitting all over my favorite game of all time that helped me.
Really?
I've
I didn't
heard
really
it's
hear.
very
I didn't
bad.
hear a lot about that.
Soul Hackers 2 was garbage, and I don't want to
Really?
talk about. Yeah, no.
Okay. Hey, that's fair enough. I'll look
yeah.
into that on my own time. Yeah.
But no, Vengeance came along, and I think Vengeance, Atlas has a bad habit of just like releasing a beta of their games and then releasing the actual game like a year later with like a
well
random,
discussed
like,
on
cover
the
girl.
show. Yeah, dude. Atlas does that
before,
shit
but
all the
yeah.
fucking time. Yeah.
But no, I think Vengeance kind of redeemed 5 a lot in my eyes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. I think
In
4 is
what
the
way
only
did it
one.
improve the experience? Like what flaws in the original do you feel were
the
kind of smoothed out?
gameplay, they had that dog shit's like fucking idea of just making it so your level scales with your stats scale with your level, so you literally cannot defeat something that's 10 levels higher than you.
Oh,
Yeah, they
okay.
got rid of that in Vengeance.
Good.
Yeah.
Give me the opportunity to just fight for an hour, but I'll
Yeah,
get
let me
through, I'll get
kill.
through it. I'll get through it.
The story, I wouldn't say they completely like did a 180 on the story and like made it great, but I feel like they leaned into the kind of campiness, and in a way I feel like that kind of worked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Narratively, did you not really enjoy SMT5
I mean,
at the launch?
I feel like the main draw of SMT5's narrative was getting a shit post about it. I'm just gonna be honest.
Okay. Hey.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
and I feel like with Vengeance they kind of caught on to that a little. The law rep in that game, the fucking dude with the baseball cap. Like in the original, he was the best character far and away because he was the stupidest.
Okay, and they embrace that sort of.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah.
I like that. Interesting. It's great to hear about here in retrospect about these titles that kind of flew over my radar or under my radar. But okay, very cool. And is there anything you're looking forward to? Whether it's small or large, all spectrums of the industry.
I really, really, really hate to say this, but I am pretty excited for Deltarune.
So am I. I'll be
I
honest.
don't,
with
I
you.
don't, I don't think there's any reason to.
I'm more of a Deltarune guy than an Undertale fan. I'll be honest.
I mean, I'm the same way. I feel like Undertale was a bit kind of naff in a few ways, but yeah, no.
That's a discussion for another episode. The deconstruction of Undertale.
We'll have you back on for the All-Star run.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
Incredible. Okay, Deltarune though.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's all the questions I have. I don't really think trying to see if I got any more. Yeah, any predictions on GOTY? I've been asking everyone, like, do you have a game of the year for 2024? Since we probably
Yeah.
well, we might see you by the end of the year, but if we don't, what do you think your game of the year will be?
Fucking, I don't know.
And I'll say it doesn't even have to be from this year. What's the best game you played in 2024 to
It's
kind
going
of
to be
close
Mirrored
this out?
Soul, released December 12th,
I don't know.
2024.
Hacky sack.
Hacky sack in the
Fucking,
real
I don't know,
world. There you go.
soccer, golf. I don't know. I'm
There you
just-
go. Go outside.
Nah, best game 2024. Probably something made by some dude in AGDG. I think that guy Horbrewers game was pretty cool. Is what I don't remember what it's called. Dreams of Joy Departed. I really liked that one. I don't remember if Automon released this year or last year, but the guy who made that game is pretty cool. And yeah, I'd recommend anyone go check it out if they got the time. It's a very addicting experience, and I did some music for it.
Hey, perfect.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I love that. All right. Well, excellent. Viewers and listeners, you can find Mirrored Soul on Steam right now. There's a demo you can install right now. You can wishlist that. If you're in the Discord and you're in the Q&A tab, testers, get in there.
Absolutely.
Do your jobs.
We need all the feedback we can
all
get,
the feedback you can get in these crucial final months. But you're on the final stretch. Good work, Noah. We're happy for you. Thank you for making your game. Thank you for coming on the show. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure talking to
Is
you.
there a Twitter or X account you'd like viewers or listeners to follow for
My
updates
Twitter-
on the game?
My Twitter is MAMMOTHPLANT.
There you go.
It's one word, all lowercase for the record. A lot of people misspell it as capital M, capital P, but no, it's just lowercase MAMMOTHPLANT.
Perfect.
Yeah, no. It's a link to like everything on there. So yeah, there's also the Mirrored Soul YouTube channel, which I upload every once a millennium. So
Oh, maybe we'll get some devlogs before the launch. Yeah.
sounds good.
People love
Perfect.
vlogs.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can find me at the Super Sammy.com on X. You can find Nick at Somebody Stop Me. We're Video Ditch
Yeah.
Pod. If you made it this far, if you're listening, thank you. We appreciate it.
If you
And
did
Noah-
make it this far, don't even bother coming back.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't hear this, but we hate
Yeah, you're never gonna know.
I hate you too, buddy.
We can
Yeah,
we can talk
yeah.
all the shit we want. You're not listening.
you. But Noah, thank you again for
Pleasure.
coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Wishing you the best.
Yeah.
And we have been Video Ditch. Until next time, keep on gaming in the free world.
Yeah, game to lame dame, game.
Game.
How do I-